Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to the channel of chilled, relaxed plant content where we talk about our plants and we try to learn the best way to grow them so they grow how we want them to grow. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, hit the subscribe button. Let's be plant friends. So today we're going to be doing some repotting. I have quite a bit of plants that need to be put into their like forever pots. And yeah, I guess we will just, I'm in the mood to do it, so we're here. So why don't you guys grab some soil, some pots, some plants that need to be repotted, uppotted, whatever it is, and come join me. Alrighty. Alright, so the first plant or plants we're going to be potting up together are my purple passion plants. So I will put the tag where you can see it because trying to pronounce that is not easy. Gynra sarminosa purple passion plant. Alright, and they were $12.95 when I bought them. So we're going to be potting those three up together in this, like, I was going to say urn-shaped pot, but I don't think so. These are the pots that peace lilies come in usually for like funeral or wakes. So I have two of these, so I figure we're going to do one with the purple passion, and then I have my Stephanios floribunda in the other one. So those are going to be like the two bigger plants that I try to grow. So we're going to fill her up with some soil. I pre-moisten the soil. It's just cactus soil mixed with some perlite. I didn't have anything extra to put in there, so we didn't put anything extra in there. And I'm going to just plop them down into it and then backfill. But the roots are pretty delicate on this guy. They're pretty thin. I'm not sure you can even see them. A little bit. And I don't really want to dig at it because I've killed this plant a few times, and I'm hoping with a bigger plant. Oh, you can't even see. Let me fix you. Is that better? Maybe if I back you up. Is it better? A little bit? A little bit. All right. So I'm hoping that if I do it like that, it will, I don't know. I'm hoping with these bigger plants that I have a better shot at not killing the plant. Right? You know, I have like 3 chances in this pot instead of like 1 if I was to just buy one. So yeah, one of the plants actually were still wet, like their soil was still wet. So I don't know what that was about because I kept them all together. So I don't know why one would be wet and the others wouldn't, but that's what happened. And so now we're just going to try to backfill. I'm not too worried about like covering the bottom leaves. I feel like, I could be completely wrong in this, but I feel like this plant, the stems will kind of root out. I don't know. I look at this plant and I think tomato plant. I don't know why. And I know if you bury a tomato stem a little bit deeper than the, you know, the bottom leaves or whatever it is, it will root out from that stem. So that's kind of my goal here, I guess, or my thinking. I just bury them a little deeper. And then this way also it gives myself some room in watering without making too much of a mess. But, you know, I always tend to make a mess, so it's not always, doesn't always work. Oh, damn. You know, I always try so hard not to make a mess. And what I just did was like dumped a whole scoop of wet soil onto the rug. Yep, I did that. That's what happened. So now I'm kind of like, well, I already made a mess. Why be careful now? I'm going to have to clean up anyway. That is so frustrating. But anyway, I've seen, for this plant, I saw another YouTuber who had this plant, David Morales, and his was flowering. He, I believe, lives in Texas from what I think he said in his videos. And his flowers, and they have orange, like fuzzy flowers. Can you like imagine that with this purple, with this bright purple that have bright orange? Like, this is like the epitome of a Halloween plant. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. And then I think putting it in this pot just makes it even more like spooky like. But anyway, I guess that'll be hopefully next year's like thing. I'll be able to show you guys this plant in its full glory with flowers and everything around Halloween, hopefully. I do have to do I'll do a little bit more research to find out when or how this plant flowers, like if it needs more humidity or something like that. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I don't know. I've been getting more into like looking up how to do stuff with plants and like when they flower and like their natural cycles and stuff. Just because I think if you can replicate that, then it makes having the plant easier to take care of and to grow it how you want to grow it. So maybe I'll do a couple of those videos where I'm just going to be like reiterating whatever it is I found out on the internet. But I think it will help me kind of like remember it and learn about it, and also give you guys an opportunity to chime in if you have any differing opinions or experiences that might help me. Look at that. Look how beautiful this plant is. Like, that is gorgeous. I don't care what you say. This looks so good. I'm so excited for this plant. Please don't die. Please. Please. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so we got one done. Let me get the rest of them, introduce you to them, and start potting up. Alright guys, so the next plant I'm going to be potting up is my Philodendron Ruizzi. Put it there so you guys can see it. Ruizzi. I'm not sure. But I got her in this square, I don't know, 4-inch pot. And she's in sphagnum moss. And we're about to make a mess, huh? Let me get something to take this sphagnum moss off with. Alright, so I have this it's the top to my soil bin. And we're going to just take out all the sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss freaks me out. I don't know, and I have a lot of it now. I have so much. Look at all the sphagnum moss. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I feel like I end up rotting roots when I root in sphagnum moss. It's either I keep it too dry or too wet, or like I let it get too dry so the roots die back, and then I wet it and it's too wet, and I'm not successful with sphagnum moss. But look at these. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful plant. I think this leaf was put out in my care, or it was unfurling. We have like a new leaf spike right there coming up. I don't know if you can see it, but let's just speed past me removing all of this stuff. Alright guys, so this is what the roots look like. Not as much as I was hoping for such a big pot. Some roots did rot off because again I can't grow things in sphagnum moss, but we have this much. I think We have some aerial roots that are popping up at each of the nodes. I think I'm gonna like try to bury the plant like up to those nodes, and if we lose these two older leaves, it's fine. I want there to be more nodes to produce roots, so that's my main concern. So let's move some stuff around. Alright guys, so we got my Philodendron Ruizzi potted up. I do feel like this pot's a little bit big for the root system, but I also feel confident that the roots will expand and take off, and we're just gonna hope that we don't kill this plant. Look how pretty that is. Look at how pretty. Imagine this growing up a stake with all these large leaves hanging down. It would be beautiful. A beautiful plant. Okay, the next plant we're gonna pot up is actually, we're gonna do my Philodendron gloriosum. So this is the newest leaf. It's still a little lighter than the others, so I guess it's just taking its time. It did need a little bit of help unfurling. It kind of got stuck. And so this is just what the leaf looks like now. She's already in soil, and I don't want to up pot her too much. I'm not really going to mess with the roots at all, so I'm going to be putting her just into this little pot. It's just like an inch bigger than the pot she's in now, and I think it will help her take off and grow. And I keep getting soil all over me. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that is the plan for this pot. The only issue I have with this pot is there's like kind of like a lip, like it goes in, and it's not great for repotting, but we'll deal with that when we have to. As of right now, this is the only pot I have. So this is the pot we are using. Okay, so yeah, not a significant amount of roots, but we do have some. I don't know how well you can see that. Try to zoom you in, I guess. You can see some stuff. It's not too much. I'm not going to really mess with it too much. And we're just going to kind of plop her in there, or try to. Pull some of that soil out. Also, her soil is still wet too. So, I don't know. I do not know. Alright, so we have the Philodendron gloriosum potted up. We have some nosy dogs. Get out the room. Go. Go. Okay. We got the door closed, so it might echo a little bit more here. No, the dog just opened the door back up. Go lay down. Go. Alright, so we have the Philodendron gloriosum potted up in this lovely textured pot. Look how good that looks. Look at how good that looks. The new growth point is coming up right here. And yeah, I'm excited to see this guy grow, get bigger leaves. I do want to try to get it on some type of a plank or something, but for now we just want her to get established and put out that leaf. Alright, the next plant I'm going to be taking out of the moss and putting into soil is the Philodendron melanochrysum. For anybody who wants the spelling. And we're gonna, these guys aren't as wet as the Philodendron Ruizzi was, so we'll see how that goes. You can see some of the roots. It's like good to be able to see some of the roots. I hope you can see that. So hopefully this is a little easier to get off, hopefully. All right, so these are the roots we got separated. They look really good. From what I've like heard from other YouTubers and other just planting people is that this guy roots up pretty well and pretty easily. And you can kind of see that with all of the aerial roots or adventitious roots. I think these are aerials. Adventitious, I feel like cling on and like spin, but maybe I'm just making that up. I'm not sure, but hopefully you can see that. There we go. They got a bunch. So I can always cut this at a later point and propagate. But for now, we just want to pot her up. And I think I'm going to pot this one up into this pot. Alright, so we have the Philodendron Melanochrysum potted up and looking good. I might put like a little stick in here for this if I notice that it starts like falling over, but for now she looks really good. Alright, the last plant we're going to be potting up today is my Philodendron tenue. Can you focus? There you go. Tenue. And I think it's supposed to have like longer leaves. And it kind of reminds me of the Philodendron Melanochrysum, just like a green leaf, like a green on green leaf. It's really pretty though. You should Google some images of this as a mature plant. It's very pretty. Look at that. So pretty. We got a new leaf coming in. And it looks like some of the leaves were getting stuck and they were stuck furled. So like half of it never like became chlorophylled. The chlorophyll didn't develop in that half, but we'll see. We have another little leaf coming in up top. Hopefully putting these guys in some soil will let these guys grow a little better. And that's what we're hoping for. The dogs are starting to play outside, so I just closed the door. We'll see how long until they bonk their heads back through, just to check on me. All right. So just real quick, I want to show you, it looks like we have some rot, so I'm going to be cutting that off. This looks like a mid-cut, so did the Melanochrysum. I kind of had the same thing. So we're going to be cutting off anything that's rotted. We got like sheaths that had rotted off, just to prevent further rot and to kind of make sure the plant stays happy. I want to just like rip it, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys can see we have like what looks like something rotted here and something rotted up here. I'm just gonna cut like those spots off. We have roots from all of these different nodes, so I think it'll be all right. I just don't want that to like spread, and it looked like it was dead anyway, so maybe I'll just cut that whole thing off because I don't want it to rot and kill the plant eventually. Let's try to move all the healthy roots away and then cut off the dead. Yeah, you could see this stuff. I hope you can see this stuff right here. Nope, you can't see. Okay, yeah, so this is just like all rotted, no good. It's not green on the inside or anything like that. It's not smushy or anything, but I think in soil it might become smushy, so I want to get that stuff off as best as I can. But anyway, these are the roots we got going on. This one I'm probably going to bury a little deeper, just so some of these other aerial roots and nodes have a chance to root out. Alright, so we're going to be potting this guy up into this cute little like star astronomy planter. So I'm not going to fill this one up all the way. I'm going to keep the soil a little low and just put a stick in to support it. And then as the plant grows and matures, you know, I can add more soil to it or just repot it and lift it up and put more soil. But I don't want to rot these roots, so I'm going to keep it a little shallow for both of the tenue and the melanochrysum. I'm keeping it a little shallow. All right, the next plant we're going to be potting up is a philodendron cream splash. So I think I have like almost all of like the varieties of philodendron. I have the cream splash, I have the variegated, I have the neon, I have the green, I have the white stripe, and then I have this one. I have the Brazil. So I think the only one I don't have is like the Rio, and eventually I think I'm going to get that just to like kind of grow them out next to each other and see what the differences are. Yeah, I think that would be cool just to have like one of each, and they're relatively like cheap and easy to grow, so that's a future plan is to get the Rio. But until then, let's take this moss off. As you can see, yeah, we have some, it looks like rotted roots, and it's because it's in sphagnum, and I can't keep plants in sphagnum. I don't do well with that. You know, I'm not I've heard like both ways, that like sphagnum moss is easier to get off when it's wet, when it's dry. I feel like when it's damp and almost dry, I feel like right in the middle is when it's like the easiest to come off, because when it's wet, it just, I feel like it sticks more, and when it's dry, it's like already stuck on. Let me know in the comments below how do you feel about that little sphagnum moss removal debate. Which one do you think is easier? Wet, dry, or in the middle? I feel like I'm ripping off roots. See, it's hard to tell because there's also like these little stick things in there. And I don't know if that used to be roots or that's part of the sphagnum. Looks like we got two pieces. So we got this guy free. Almost. And he doesn't have a lot of roots, but philodendrons are relatively easy to root, so I'm not nervous about it. As long as it has some roots, we should be okay. And okay, so we got one piece. And the next piece. Next piece has like longer roots, so. Alright, so this is what we got going on for the next piece. A lot more roots, and it looks good. And I'll be potting her up into this planter made by Nikki Gunning, ceramicist and artist Nikki Gunning. I love these pots. I have so many of these guys, and I have my pothos, scindapsus, and trailing philodendrons potted into these pots. I kind of like to have like different themes for different like genus of plants. I don't know if that, you know, is weird or not, but I like to have these pots for those guys. I have the colored 4-inch like glazed terracotta pots for my Hoyas, and then basically everything else is kind of like in just a random pot that I have acquired. But let me know in the comments below if you also try to coordinate the genus of your plants to different types of pots, or if you don't care and you're more, you know, whatever pot's lying around is what you're potting in. Alright, we got her all potted up. Let me clean up a little bit and see you in a little bit. Alrighty guys, so those are the plants we potted up today. We got a couple of philodendrons done, and we got my purple passion plant done. Now we only have like, feels like 100 more plants to repot, but we are done for now. Let me know in the comments below which plant is your favorite. Have you gotten the purple passion plant to flower? And if you did, what did you do to get that to happen? And until next time, relax, plants. Peace out.